Yo, what's going on, guys? What's going on? Hey, look, man, I was so excited to get some of these parts put on the bike. I did a live stream a while back and I had showcased some of the products that I was gonna be putting on the bike. You know what I mean? It's like no secret now. Like, we're gonna get the bike lowered. We got lowering links. We got a new chain and sprocket kit. We're gonna convert to like 520, do a 520 conversion. I went 2 up in the back. I'm gonna see how that works as far as like my riding style, see if that's really gonna fit, or, you know, if it doesn't necessarily fit, I'm gonna probably change it, go back to stock, or change it completely different. But as you know, I'm trying to get into the roll racing a little bit more seriously. So like I said, I'm just feeling it out. I'm not trying to go balls to the wall and do something crazy and just set up the bike and make it look like it's roll racing. And then I'm not really doing that. It's gonna just mess up my whole ride, and I don't want to do that. So I'm slowly getting into it to try to fill out the bike and see like what I like, what I want, and things of that nature. But I kind of pumped the brakes on that a little bit. So let's talk about it. Number one, I seriously, I had to take some time out to really think about my priorities. I was just getting so drawn into parts for the bike. Let's do this to the bike. Let's do this to the bike. And as I'm doing that, I keep seeing people around me go down. They're dropping like flies. Now, I'm not saying everybody's dying, but people are going down. And it's concerning me, you know, and it's concerning my wife. You know, it concerned my wife, and I had to put it in perspective, and it really hit me. My friend, shout out to my friend Zach, he just got himself a ZX6R, and he actually went to the track, and he got himself a full suit. And he was telling me, man, you just need to get a full suit, man. I'm just like, there ain't no damn way I'm riding with no full suit here in Texas, bro. It's just started summertime. It's hot. So I was like, there's no way I can ride in a full suit. It's just not me. And the reason why he was just, you know, he kind of was just like, bro, you're riding like a squid, man. I see you riding in jeans and stuff. Like, you need to get some gear. And I'm like, well, I got boots and gloves, you know, and a helmet, obviously. He's like, yeah, it's not enough, man. It's not enough. You know, you got too much to lose. I didn't really pay much attention to it at first, but then, like I said, I started seeing people around me going down a lot, and the injuries that they were having really concerned me because I do have a lot to lose. I considered it, you know what I mean? I considered it a lot, and I started thinking like, damn, you know, I got a whole family. I got a wife, I got kids. I need to really prioritize. I had to really look and start prioritizing things like, am I really prioritizing my motorcycle safety, or am I just focused on the bike? Spending all this money on the bike, but I'm not considering spending all this money on my motorcycle safety. What do I mean by that? I mean gear. You need gear, people. The other thing that really hit home for me is when I watched a Chase on Two Wheels video, and he was making fun of the Instagrammers. You know, the video was pure fun to me. I had to go back and watch it again. And when I watched it again the second time, a lot of the stuff that he was saying made sense. When I watched it the first time, it was just kind of comical because I was watching it like, oh my God, he's trolling these guys so bad. But I missed the message, you know? So when I watched it the second time, I got the message. And that message is you know, he's making fun of people that are going out and spending like $1,500, $1,600, $1,700 plus on these race helmets, like AGV, the Pistas, aka the Instagram helmet. And, you know, these guys, you know, are spending like $250, $200 on like, you know, a hoodie, you know, and the same amount on some jeans, and, you know, $500, $600, $700 plus on boots, you know what I mean? And some of these people are not even wearing gloves, but obviously, you know, whatever amount, 150 plus on gloves. And though you're protecting yourself with boots and gloves, the rest of the outfit has been lacking. And I really started thinking about the thing, like I started seeing, you know, reviews of people going down with, you know, like with the jeans and stuff like that, like the MBT jeans, or, you know, the rider jeans, and the hoodies, you know, the Armor hoodies. and just started to really see that it doesn't protect you as much as you think it does. And somebody had commented on one of my videos and they said, man, I went down. One guy was like, I went down, had no gloves on, and one of my pinkies, I have one knuckle left because it just got grounded down to nothing. The other supporter was like, man, I went down really tough, went down really hard a couple weeks back, and said, the first thing that disappeared or that disintegrated was his hoodie. His hoodie basically disintegrated all the way up to the elbow on both sides. So he got really nasty road rash. And, he was kind of wishing that he had better gear. And so that really hit home, because that wasn't very long after I just watched the Chase on Two Wheels video. And so I really had to think, and I was just like, damn, like I was considering getting an Arma hoodie. I was considering just getting some rider jeans, so I just stopped riding around in my regular jeans, seeing that it doesn't do much for you. And I said, you know what? Yeah, I can't do this. I had already started thinking, like, after a ride last week where I had to rush home because somebody broke into my wife's car and, took a lot of belongings and stuff like that. And I was racing home and it started raining and stuff like that. And I'm racing home, you know what I mean? I'm not going to say how fast I was going, but I was racing home, right? And I started realizing that, man, my helmet sucks. Like, this helmet sucks. I've never been one to really care about my helmet. Like, I think the only time I really cared about my helmet was when I had my Harley and I wore a lot of half shells. And I think the closest thing that I wore when I had my Harley was a 3/4, and I just didn't prioritize that stuff. And so I started realizing, damn, my helmet sucks, man. It sucks. It just felt like a bobblehead. The wind was blowing me everywhere. It felt like my neck was like, I felt like I was doing like neck cranks. You know what I mean? Like you're a football player and you're over there working out your neck, or a boxer or something like that. And I was just like, this helmet sucks, man. It sucks so bad. It's so big. It sucks so bad. So I started to think about, damn, I need a new helmet. And the one helmet that I knew I didn't really like, I just don't really like the styling too much. The styling is okay. AGV makes pretty decent looking helmets. You don't have to get a Pista. They have different types of helmets that look good. I just refuse to get one at this point, because every YouTuber, after watching that Chase on Two Wheels video, I'm noticing that every YouTuber and almost every Instagrammer basically has an AGV helmet. AGV. I kept saying AJV. AGV helmet. So I'm just like, I'm definitely not getting one of those. But I do like KYT. I do still like HJC. It's just that I need something more sportier, something that's more aerodynamic, to cut through the wind, because it sucks when your head is like bobbling everywhere because the wind is hitting it. It sucks. So I've spent like the last 2 weeks trying to figure out, okay, look, after watching Chase's video, let me look at some of the gear that I need that it's kind of at the higher tier, but it does the damn job. And so, I'm looking at leather pants. I'm looking at a full leather jacket. I'm looking at airbag systems and stuff like that. And while some people may say that's overkill, one of the things that I love to do is I love to wear hoodies, right? And so I started thinking like, hey, I'm just gonna spend the money and I'm gonna get an airbag system. So that's what I did. I went out and I bought, it's not here yet, should be here tomorrow. At the time you're watching this video, it's gonna already be here. But I went out and I finally decided, after watching so many reviews, I went out and bought the Alpine Stars Tech 5 Plasma. And it just made sense, you know what I mean? It just made sense. It's extra impact protection. I think it says it reduces impact like up to 93% in most cases. And I showed my wife, I talked to her, and she was like, yeah, you need more gear. You need something, right? We need you around. So I pulled the trigger on that finally. And then I started looking at, like I said, leather jackets and leather pants. So I'm going with Noru with the coat and the pants, just to test them out before I get something that's a little more expensive or tiered a little bit better. They have pretty cost-effective products, so I'm gonna try them out. I already have their boots. I already have Alpinestars gloves, so I think I'll pretty much be covered at that point. Now, like I said, there are better things out there, you know what I mean, than Noru, in my opinion. I've seen some better things, but also I'm not willing to go out and spend like $500 on boots from Alpinestars when, you know, $120, $130 pair of boots can do the same exact thing, but they may not be as comfortable, right? To me, all racing boots, riding boots are just not comfortable, period, in my opinion. Jackets as well, depending on where you live, maybe in the colder months, for sure, leather jackets are like a must or a premium to have. But, you know, here in Texas is like when you're having constant 100 plus day, 100 degree plus day plus weather, a leather jacket ain't really the thing that you want to ride in. You know what I mean? It's more likely a hoodie. So my idea is that I want to be able to, you know, be able to wear that airbag system under my hoodies. Now, I do plan on getting an armored hoodie. That would be extra protection to wear over that airbag system. But in any given moment, I could just throw on a hoodie and be a little bit more protected, right? So that's the plan. I did get a second pair of riding pants. That's more like summertime riding pants. I think Amazon is here. They are. My dog is gonna go crazy, especially if they ring the doorbell. They didn't ring the doorbell. So I did get a pair of other pants, and I tried them on there. They were great, and they're super lightweight. And the only thing I don't like is they don't really have hip support, hip pads, but they do have knee pads built in. But they feel lighter, they feel more comfortable than jeans. And so I'm really happy about that. So I'm trying to just cover all my bases, and you know, I spent a pretty good amount of money. Also did get another helmet as well. I forgot about that. I did get another helmet. I pulled the trigger last night, and it's a KYT helmet. I like KYT a lot. The design stuck out to me a lot. Safety ratings are pretty good, and you know, it's not a pista. It's not a pista, and you know, I don't feel like I'm old enough now to where I don't feel like I have to impress people I don't know and that don't like me or that I don't like. I don't need to go out and buy, you know, the same shit that I see, you know, the YouTuber with 1 million plus buy necessarily to impress them or to impress other people. But I do understand that, you know, they're doing it either because they're getting paid, you know what I mean, they're in a position to get paid by those people to get stuff discounted or for free, which is amazing. That'd be amazing. Like, I would not deny or decline AGV if they were like, hey, we want you to advertise our helmet. You know what I mean? Like, I wouldn't decline that. But I'm just saying that when you're in a position like that, you know, it's much easier to make those kind of decisions on higher price items. You know what I mean? The other helmet that I really, really want, now that I'm like really into gear, is I'm probably going to end up getting the Alpinestars R10. That thing looks amazing. I love it. You know, I don't even care what color it is. I just been looking at them. I almost pulled the trigger on it, but I was like, you know what? Let me go with the KYT first, because I spent a lot of money on the airbag system and the pants and the, you know, and the leather jacket. So I'm like, let me slow my roll a little bit, and I'll come back and revisit that R10 or something similar if it comes out and I like it or something. So normally I would never, ever entertained buying a helmet that was over $500. But now that I'm seeing safety ratings, now that I see that the styling that I want, and just overall the reviews on these some of these helmets and other types of gear, you know, eventually I do want to move up to an Alpinestar jacket. I've seen several reviews on those and I like them a lot, but $500 in a jacket right now, I just don't really feel like it's necessary, especially with summertime being here. You know, so I'm just gonna take my time, slow my roll, and use what I got, what I've ordered, and then make my decisions based on that from there. And you know, I could have taken the bike and gotten these things put on it. I could have ordered more parts, you know, I mean, to transform this thing the way I really wanted, like carbon fiber pieces and things of that nature, rear fenders, new fenders, carbon fiber fenders, really trick this thing out the way that I want. But I started thinking, like, none of this matters, you know, if I get in a wreck, you know what I mean? Whether it's like, you know, a comprehensive collision or if it's like a full total, you know what I mean? A full total collision. where the bike is totaled. Everything on that bike at that point is going to have to be replaced, or it's just going to be written off, and I'll have to start over again. But the thing that's going to be kind of like the permanent, the thing that's kind of going to be like really serious is going to be my health. You know what I mean? What's going to happen to me in a comprehensive collision or a total loss of a vehicle? What am I gonna look like? You know what I mean? How long is it gonna take me to recover? How long is it gonna take me to get back on two wheels? That's where the gear, in my opinion, is way more important than the motorcycle at that point. All that stuff is going to be damaged, you know what I mean? But if I have gear on, that can shorten my recovery times. It can even lessen the amount of injuries that I take. You know, I'd rather much fall and slide on the asphalt and the concrete with a leather jacket than sliding on the same concrete and asphalt with a hoodie. You know what I mean? I'd rather fall on the asphalt with a leather jacket and an airbag system than having none of those. You know what I mean? To lessen the impact. You know what I mean? So it's like, when I looked at it just from the perspective of having an armored hoodie by itself, yes, it's going to protect me from the abrasions and this, you know, the sliding on the concrete for the most part to a certain extent, but it's not going to really help with the impact. So that's where the airbag system came in, and I just decided to, look, I'm going to pull the trigger on it, and it is what it is. People want to laugh about it. It is what it is. You know, with the amount of people going down, I'm prioritizing my health and my motorcycle safety above anything else at this point, because to me, that's the most important thing. Let me know what you guys think. Like I said, I'm gonna hit you guys with videos every day until you get tired of seeing my face, right? Nobody else is doing it. Nobody else is doing it right now. I think that eventually this is gonna set a trend. Obviously, people like consistency, but you know, you don't need cinematic videos. You don't need wheelies, and you don't need camera cars. You don't need that stuff. You know what I mean? Some of the YouTubers that we like to watch, like Fastlane, like those episodes that they put out basically are phenomenal. They're phenomenal. But you don't need all that to be successful. There's enough room on everybody for everybody in this motorcycle genre to make the type of content that they want, how they want, and be able to still be successful. Everybody can eat. So I'm going to set the trend. I'm setting the standard for 2025, and I'm going to hit you with videos every day. Every day. I've already started seeing some of the other YouTubers like trying to change up their schedules, because they're probably like, damn, maybe I need to give more content. You know what I mean? I don't know. I don't really care what they do. Most of them I watch and I enjoy it. So I'm just going to set a new standard, right? Eventually, it's going to pay off. You know what I mean? Eventually. I don't know. You know what I mean? Whether it's in a year or 2 years or whatever, 3 years, it don't matter. It's going to pay off eventually. I want people to be able to look back, watch my channel and be like, damn, this dude, he's got so much content I can go through. You know what I mean? So much content, so many, resourceful things, so many things that are going to matter to some people. Everything may not matter to one or two or some of you or a few of you, but eventually it's going to matter to somebody. So they'll be able to go back in the backlog and look at all those videos and say, oh, okay, now I'm up to speed. You know what I mean? So yeah, man, doing this thing in a big way. No, we're not monetized, and I don't care. Eventually, when I get monetized, I'll start to care a little bit more about, about that kind of stuff. But just focused on producing content, meaningful content for me, to me, and hopefully it benefits you guys. So I appreciate all the support. Instagram, YouTube, they're growing. Community is growing a lot. Slow and steady and organic, baby. I love it. I love it. But anyways, appreciate you guys and girls. Make sure you like, comment, subscribe if you feel like it. If not, just keep coming back daily until you feel the need to. But I'll catch you in the next one. Peace.